So we've got 26 profiles. We have 14 NA, 8 EU, and 4 Oceania. Where would you like to start? I did ask a few of the older players if they wanted to come on and give their 2 cents, because we're fairly new to the game and we will know a few of the names on this list. We're not going to know everyone, and we're probably going to say some things that because we don't know a lot of people apart from outside what's known within the community of MHA. We don't know the pre UVS stuff.
That's fine. We can just talk about what we know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all good. Let's just, I guess, start with. We'll go through it maybe national, how the order they qualified. So I guess we start with EU.
Fair enough. EU is at the top. That's fine. So let's start off with the winner then. EU is. I did the EU ones first, so there's a little bit of discrepancy in the way that it's worded. But here we go. So, start off with the EU winner, Liam Chona, qualified within the EU, mentored by Mike Hardiman, qualified using Eraserhead 1 on Void. History with the game: started playing with set 1 with the MHA drop, top 4 EU hourly in May, top 16 August hourly, and current EU champion. Favourite character within UVS is Shoto 2.
Oh man, Shoto 2.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, you love what you love, I suppose, but man, I don't like Shoto 2.
Shoto 2 is a very fun character, and Liam has been trying to make it work, but I don't think he's brought him to any big events. But my first experience with Liam was at the Bristol Star Provisional, where it was Shoto 2, and it was a very good deck.
I would like to briefly say I believe I have an undefeated record against Liam in I think the 3 matches we played, and unfortunately a winless record against his brother. I
am 1-2 against Liam. I beat him in the Star Provisional, but I've lost to him in both hourlies. No, I lost to him twice in the May hourly. I lost to him in Swiss and then immediately got paired into him in the top 16.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised Liam is still playing the game and didn't just immediately quit after losing on stream to Storm of Blades.
That's fair, but if the May hourly is against Liam was one of the best games I've done. Even the judges had a great time watching. Mina 1 versus Shigaraki 3 was so good, and I really wish we'd be able to record it.
Liam's a great guy. Have a lot of time for him. I think whenever we played, it's always been a lot of fun.
But upon earning his HLC invite, Liam reported that he was happy that the work he put into the game had paid off, but also shocked that he got as far as he did. And I know Liam, and it is no surprise he is going to the HLC, but it's great to see how happy he was to get there.
Yeah.
His message to the other HLC participants is good luck to everyone going. Going to be great to see everyone in Orlando. And an IP he wishes to be brought into the game is Sword Art Online.
I have no idea what that is.
SAO is a anime where the first season is where basically new games come out. They all log into this virtual reality game, and then they can't log out. And if you die in the game, your headset kills you.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really season 1 is really dark and in the fantasy set. It gets a little bit weird as you go into season 2 and Alicization, which I've only just caught up on because I was very, very bored. But it's a really cool concept, and I think as a game it'd be really cool. And I'd love to see them bring into some way bring in dual wielding for if they had a Kirito character, his special trait that no one else has is dual wielding, and if you could have a character that could launch 2 attacks at the same time, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
massive hand attacks, but no. Any apart from your undefeated record against Liam, have you got any personal anecdotes or anything to say?
No, I don't think so. We played a few times. I think a couple of times on the webcam Tuesdays, Patriots ones, and then obviously we played the final early in the season. But yeah, no, Liam's a great guy, and obviously his victory was well deserved. He's obviously very, very good at the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Big, like Liam, like I said, met him in Bristol during that provisional. Really decent guy. Always a great person to have a chat with. Always seems to be up for a laugh, and really happy that he's getting his name out there because, as I've been saying for like the last few months, if you talk to anyone about EU players, there's usually the same 7 or 8 names that are floating around, and I'm hoping that Liam is going to get his name out there because he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's move on to Luke, who sent me the most depressing of profile pictures.
Okay.
It's just him in a car park. But yes, Luke John Quincy, I hope I'm saying that right, qualified within the EU, of course. Qualified with Overhaul Life. First top in the hourly 1 in May with Endeavour 2. Then got top 16 hourly 2 with Mirio, or 1 on Good. 1 hourly 2 with Overhaul, and was runner-up in Nationals, again using Overhaul Life. Favourite character, Endeavour 2. Now, these were asked before Jetburn came out, so these might have changed, because I imagine Endeavour 3 is probably up there now. But Endeavour 2 is a solid choice.
I mean, my beef with Endeavour 2 is that he's obviously good and a solid character. He's just really dull. Just doesn't do anything exciting, but that's me.
I mean,
Luke's very, very good.
You've got to think about the Kirishima 2 players and the Ojiro 2 players and the Ryukyu players. Some people like playing dull characters.
And that is totally fine. I'm not going to harsh it, but for me, I'm just...
If it works, it works, and that's what's important. If you're having fun, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about your game, as long as you're the one having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Upon earning his...
Very, very good. He's got, that's a stellar record there, right?
Yeah.
Topping virtually everything. So...
Very strong player. I think probably one of the strongest in Sheffield. I know he's one of the players that Mike has high respect for as well. But a decent laugh, but he's still a relatively new player. I mean, I've played him in the webcam events, and there's lots of cards that he's never had interactions with, and I think I only won our webcam game because I was just playing these cards like I have no idea what any of these do.
Yeah.
But Luke, upon earning his HLC invite, was excited. It had been so long since he played since he'd been playing card games and missed playing, but now he gets to play on the world stage. Any tips for people trying to get to the HLC next year will be to time, practice, and learning. Make sure make sure the deck feels good going in. Makes sense. Messages for the people playing in the HLC this year. Look forward to meeting the new people. Anything else that we should know about him is that he's been playing card games since he was 9 and has played them all around the world.
Yeah, fair
that's really interesting. Because I mean, at 9 years old, he must have started on MTG, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Those were the big 3. A while back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one it would be. I mean, obviously, MTG was my start.
I think MTG was... Yu-Gi-Oh was my start, but, actually properly learning a game rather than just following anime rules was MTG.
Okay, big Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Yeah, big Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, I mean, Luke's just gone a lot down in my estimation.
Yeah, no. With card games, it's a lot of transferable skills, and if he's been playing since he's 9, it's nice, compounded skills.
Yeah, and actually, I think it was summed up quite well, actually, why I don't think I could ever go back to those games after playing UKVersus is quite simply the draw one versus the draw to hand size mechanic. I don't think I can go back to a draw one game.
I was playing Keyforge up until the big mess about with UVS, with FFG, sorry. So, and that's a game where you drop to hand size every single time, but you don't get to interact during your opponent's turn. For me, I can't go back to any other game other than UVS because of the proactive versus reactive gameplay. In any other game, once you're playing reactively, you're on the back foot. You're most likely going to lose because all you can do is sit there and react to your opponent's gameplay. In UVS, there is no real reactive playstyle. Reactive playstyle itself is a way to win. Playing defensively and waiting for your opportunity to strike is a way to win. And it's that kind of shift in how other card games work and going, we're going to take the biggest thing that is a lose condition of other games and make it a win condition in ours is huge. And that's why reversal is such a hated thing, because it promotes reactive play.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. And I'm really excited to see what comes from the future, because reactive play has always been a bad thing for me, and I'm trying to get my head out of that space and become more reactive rather than proactive, because it's okay to sit there and build for 3 turns and just defend, because it's fine. As long as you win in the end, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right, let's go over to top 4 then, which would be JP. John Paul Golightly, also known as the UA Rejects, has a really nice store for UK singles. I managed to pick up a Hawks UR on there. Literally 2 hours before I even posted it, I was refreshing the page. So if you want to get your singles in the UK, hit up UA Rejects. Really good stock. Qualified on Mirio Good. Long-term player, started with in the FFG days, but started properly playing around 2017-2018 with the Street Fighter sets. Favorite character, Vega. Love Vega. Really, I have a lot of fun playing Vega. And MHA block favorite character would be Tokiyami 1.
Yeah, I mean, fellow Tokiyami fan. Yeah, obviously everyone knows sort of JP and via his website. Obviously great to see other, having sort of UK supported sort of single sellers. Yeah, and obviously did very, very well. I think he top cut one of the RLEs, or at least became very, very close as well, if I remember rightly.
He's been on the cusp a few times. I know he's a very, very strong player.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously been around a while, and sort of everyone sort of knows who JP is. And yeah, one of the few people that did well, and Miria didn't do very well, I think, overall at the UK, the EU nationals.
No, we were kind of prepared for him, as well as not too many people. He was still one of the highest recommended ones out there. But yeah, JP has been around for a while. From what I know, I think he was Beard Cutter or something in the past, who also sold UVS singles. But upon winning his HLC invite, it felt good, but didn't sink in yet until no details. We're still waiting on details, but we're getting there. The emails have now gone out to say that we're going. So hopefully we're going to have we'll be made aware of how many last chance qualified seats are going to be up there.
Yeah.
Any tips that he had for the players looking to get in the next year is stick with a character you love, or beware the meta. So yeah, if you,
I think I'd imagine quite a lot of the answers are going to be exactly the same, right? It's if you want to do well with a character, you need the reps, you need the experience, you need to know what your matchups are like into the other big players, right?
Yeah, a good player on a rogue deck they've got hundreds of games in is much scarier to me than a new player on a meta character.
Yeah. Welcome. Hello, evening, Matt is a mage.
Yeah, that's Matt Fontaine. We'll get to him shortly. They've got messages for the other HLC is to hopefully see you in Florida. I really hope he gets there. And any video game he would like to see brought into the game.
No, Just no.
I can see it because not everybody is an anime fan, and Godzilla was a good catch. But I think there's a lot of people that are not fans of bringing the video fighting games in. But
yeah, I mean, my beef with it is that I think the Venn diagram of people who give a shit about fighting games and people who give a shit about playing collectible card games does not intersect very much at all.
okay, so what about the Venn diagram of people who like Godzilla? What about the people that like Godzilla and the people that play card games? That's also a very small one.
Yeah, I mean, but Godzilla is only going to be unlike. I think that's the area that if they do things like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat again, challenger decks is where they should exist, not booster sets.
Matt, I know your name is Fountain, but for some reason my brain just always defaults to Fountain. I don't know why.
No, I tell you why. It's because you're married to someone that plays Genshin, and one of the big areas is Fontaine.
That's true. It's also like with George, who won the NA Nationals. Because the name is spelled like Jorge. I think even Levi introduced him as Jorge. He's like, no, it's George. He's like, oh. But no, it's great to see JP back. It's great to see, as good as it is to see new names. It's good to see some of the old heads bringing back in. That isn't. Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes at the HLC, and hopefully a lot of these players will get their names out here. Right, who would you like to go to next? We've got 5 people left.
Just pick one. It literally doesn't matter what we do.
Well, I was going to carry on the top 4, but I don't want to do my profile anytime soon. So let's go to Matt, seeing as he's here, with the very stunning picture, just highlighting the wavy hair. Very, very, very cool. So we've got Matt Fountain, aka Matt Is It Mage, which I assume is a MTG reference to Guild, is it? Qualified using.
I can't think of any other use of Is It other than the blue red.
Qualified using Overhaul Earth. Got 10th in the EU Nationals last year. Got 20th in EU RLE this year, and managed to come 3rd in Nats this year. I think I got Luke and Matt the wrong way around here, but that's fine. Not Luke, JP and Matt the wrong way around. Favourite character is Kirishima 1, but favourite character only in MHA would be Monoma 1.
Okay, we're done with this profile. Move on to the next.
Well, I mean, Monoma is out there. As more characters come out, he's going to get more powerful.
Dead to me.
Matt was overwhelmed, shocked, and amazed when they earned the HLC invite, and I couldn't believe they actually made it that far. But if you saw them play, it was well deserved.
Yeah, Matt's very good. I believe I played him at the August RLE. I think he was playing Tarbo, and then obviously I was playing the Stormer Blades Giro, and then I couldn't beat Eri.
Eri's a tough one to get on. It's partly why I want to play. I want to practice more with Davig Free, because Davig Free just gets around Eri so well. But if you're looking to get to the HLC next year, Matt suggests that you practice, research, and find out what other people are doing, and to make it your own and refine it. So find your play style, find what works for you, and refine it into a decent weapon that can take on the events.
Yeah.
Matt confirms that you did play. He was playing Tabe.
Yeah.
For the people that are coming to the HLC this year, Matt is happy to say that making it this far was a big task, and to do their best at Worlds plus Ultra. Other things we should know about Matt is they're rarely a competitive player. They're usually a wacky deck builder, so I'm very excited to see what they bring at Worlds. And maybe I won't be the only one playing a weird deck, because last time I was a dabby one in a room of giants last year. So I'm glad I won't be alone this time. And the IP that Matt would love to see brought into the game is Tengen Topper Gurren Lagann.
Again, I'm going to shock you here. I have no idea what that is.
Row, row, fight the power. It is great. I cannot summarize how good this anime is in the time it would take. I would need an entire new podcast to talk about how in depth and how good Gurren Lagann is.
Okay. Well, it's just another random anime.
It is.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a good mech anime. Some people get turned off in it by the mechs, but it is so good, so heartbreaking at so many good points. It is a perfect blend of comedy and drama. It's one of the great things because I've been like an anime nerd for a good 15 years now. I know a lot of these. Let's move on to one of the returning players, which is Phillip. Not gonna try and pronounce your last name, even though I've known you for over a year now.
I believe it's Kibios, but I might be pronouncing that terribly.
What was it? What was the name, sorry?
Kibios, I believe.
Kibios.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Qualified on Giro Air, which is what got him to second in Worlds earlier this year. History playing game, top 8 from Arali and Nats from the last few events, and ended up being the runner-up at the first HLC and walking away with a decent amount of money. Fair play, Phillip is a very good player.
I'm claiming about 80% of the credit for his second place, just he stole all my cards to build his deck.
Plays for TCG Ranch. Did we actually cover what if Matt had any? I missed that. No, Matt has no mentors or team. I know a few people have been coerced into putting some people in there. And Phillip's favourite character is Giro 1, but surprisingly.
Yes, and a shocking twist of events.
But yeah, I've been playing with Phillip since early last year as part of the Kami House Germany events before they stopped running. It's great to see the progress of a player that when you've known a player from the moment they started, roughly the moment they started playing, to see them continually do this well is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he was the runner-up last year. He's obviously very, very good, and obviously, I guess for those that don't know, he is, I think, one of the best players in the world for Force of Will. I didn't know. I think regularly competes in Force of Will Worlds over in Japan. I think he plays other card games as well. So he's very much a card game nerd, and a really great guy, and obviously.
And can currently claim to be the best player in mainland Europe, as he's the only world ranked player from mainland Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Upon earning his HLC invite, Phillip felt disbelief and relief, but also a little sad because his matchup in the top 16 was against a friend of his, so he stole their chance to get an invite.
Yeah, I think that was Mitchell. I think he knocked out.
Yeah, but I think it was Mitchell because he was at the HLC last year, and really great guy. I always have a good time chatting with Mitchell. For those looking to get to the HLC next year, Phillip's advice is to keep playing and do not get discouraged with any game loss.
Mm-hmm.
Messages for the players that are taking part in the HLC this year is thrilled to see new and old faces, make new friends, and deepen existing friendships. I just want to have fun and hope that other ones will also have their fun. No, that's decent. IPs that Phillip would love to see a game. He's only played since MHA, but he'd absolutely love to see Dragon Quest brought in. I don't know what that is.
Nor do I.
I know it's a console game because it's on his profile. I should have probably looked this up, but I was procrastinating. Looks pretty decent, but yeah, it's
Okay.
So if anyone in chat knows what Dragon Quest is, give us a little.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, give us a little brief over. Dragon Quest is an RPG done by Dragon Ball manga. Oh, okay. So the Dragon Ball manga guys do. That makes sense. Let's move on to the Kingslayer, the Kingmaker of the EU, dethroning last year's champion Nathan James and earning himself MVP of EU Nationals, Kyle Brunt. Was personally trained and harnessed into a finite weapon by Mark Hardiman. Qualified on Overhaul Earth 1. His history game is he saw it at his local page. Had recently gotten into the anime and has been playing for around 2 years now. And favourite character is Eraserhead 2, which Eraserhead 2 does not see enough play, and I'm really glad that he, competitively has seen some more play. Kyle had a hell of a run in EU Nationals, as we said, taking out Nathan James, but was usurped in the top 8 by a player who probably didn't deserve to be there.
Is that you?
It was me. I'm not going to say that about anybody else. Jeez. There's a sportsmanship clause in our Discord. I can't say that about anybody else. And yeah, Matt's just put in the chat, you.
Yes, you did somehow like Kasaki your way into the top 8, your top 4. But yeah, obviously, Carl did very, very well. Obviously, they play. I think him and Nathan's deck were like, within a few cards of each other, right?
There was a few changes in there, and those changes, I believe, were made by Mark Hardiman. If basically, as the commentary team put it for EU Nationals, Nathan James's deck was a do the thing or die deck and had no real long game plan, which is where Kyle's took over. The changes to the deck had a long game plan. They had deadlock plans, and that's what gave Kyle the edge going into those games, and he was able to take the win against one of the EU's best players. It's a real rags to riches story, as Kyle has been on and off with this game over the last year, has really struggled with his passion for the game, and to see him in the top 8 is an absolutely great thing to see.
Yeah, always good to see sort of new blood coming through. So
definitely. Upon earning his HLC invite, Kyle felt disbelief that he had gotten that far, and is really excited to see what comes next, as am I. For those looking to get the HLC invite next year, get into the community, find players who can help you along. I would never have got this far without everyone at Patriot Games. Big shout out to Sean at Patriot Games. The EU community would not be anywhere near like it is without Patriot Games.
Yeah, and I think that is a big thing, right? Like, part of sort of, I guess, getting to the top levels, certainly like if you want to go really competitive in a game, part of it is networking, right? And part of it is, maybe forming a team or getting a testing team and having other people to share ideas with, right?
Definitely, and it's one of those things that
set choices and practice with. Like, I think it's a very important thing when it comes to sort of, getting over the hurdle and getting, to those sort of top echelons.
And even just being in the main Discord, a lot of people, a lot of content creators will have been able to talk about Kyle, because he's very active in the main Discord as well. And that's why a lot of people have been so happy to see him get there. Not only did he take out Nathan James, but it's a player who has been battling with his love of this game all year, and to see them top is such a great story, and to see how much the community has supported Kyle throughout this is really great. It's really endearing as well. Messages for the other players at the HLC this year is: cannot wait to play against you all at Worlds and see what everyone has come up with the new set. Everyone is excited to see what comes out with the new set. An IP that Kyle would like to see brought into the UVS fold is Demon Slayer. Now, you must know what Demon Slayer is, Richard. It's been everywhere.
Yeah, I do know what Demon Slayer is. Woo! Mainly because the boy really likes Demon Slayer.
No, yeah, Demon Slayer is really good, really pretty. Really pretty. They push that animators way too hard.
But yeah, I mean, again, the Demon Slayer is probably one of those IPs that's going to be a big popular one, like MHA, that's going to bring a lot of people in. So,
let's move on from Kyle to one of the old heads with cardboard on his face. Grant Padley. I am currently 0-2-1 against Grant. Having beat me down a few times and also pushed to a tie. But personally forged as a weapon for UVS by Mike Hardiman. Mike Hardiman did say the first time Grant won his cardboard, he was so overjoyed he almost came to tears because of how much work Grant put into this game. Qualified on the Overhaul Earth. UVS Mega Man has done really well in other events such as UVS Mega Man Championships Rise of Masters. Former UK Singles National winner, which is his character card. Former UK Teams winner, which is the asset card you can see on screen. And the EU hourly winner of May earlier this year with 0-1.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I despise Grant. Can't stand him, and it's definitely not because that in the last round that Nats it was a win-in for both of us, and he knocked me out. Nothing to do with that at all.
Grant is a really lovely guy, but
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
it was a great game against him, and my deck did not behave, and Grant's far too good at the game for my deck not to behave and have a chance of winning.
I am happy to have any social interactions with Grant apart from sitting across from him in an event.
Yeah, exactly. Grant's obviously a lovely guy, and it was a really fun match, and then he just beat the snot out of me.
Well, Grant wanted to keep it short and sweet, so I put his character cards on the board as well. Upon winning his HLC invite, he felt relief and pure joy to be able to see his American friends again, and I know his American friends are also really happy to see him. Chris Smith, the dad of UVS, is ecstatic to be able to see Grant again, and I do believe they might even be bunking at the HLC, which is really cute. Messages for the other HLC competitors this year is, I'm going to herp a derp real hard at the HLC because it's my United States of whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so Grant's didn't have access to his Google login, so this was done through Messenger. So his is a lot shorter and sweeter, but I'm just happy Grant was able to do it because he is he's a lot more private person online than a lot of other people. So it's great to see actually get some answers out of him.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd have been a lot happier if Grant hadn't made it.
And then you'd have made it?
But yeah.
Who was Grant's first opponent? Because that was most likely who you'd been up against.
Who knows? But anyway,
so I'm sure someone will know.
Yeah.
So we've done Liam, we've done Grant, we've done Kyle, we've done Luke, we've done Phillip, we've done Matt, we've done JP. So I guess the last person in Europe we've got to cover is your boy. It is Davig Guy, aka not Liam, aka Pinky and the Flame, aka Brett Pendragon. I qualified under Midnight Void. My history of the game, I am the Community Chaos Ambassador. I am currently the world's best Dabby 1 player. Fight me. And my favourite character is Dabby. Dabby 1, Dabby 2, Dabby 3, all of them. I want to make them all work. My initial thoughts upon winning or earning the HLC invite was, Florida. That was legitimately my first response. But I'm thrilled to be returning to the world stage. Advice for anyone in Europe that wants to go to the HLC next year is if you want my seat, you got to come take it. I am planning to go back next year now. Got to make it the hat trick. Messages for the HLC players taking part this year is EU players are real and we can hurt you. And the IP I'd most want brought to this game is Outlaw Star. It is an older anime. I do not expect Richard to know anything about it.
Shockingly, I do not.
But it'd be really cool. And it was Matt who knocked out Grant. So you'd have been up against Matt.
No, that would have been the top 8 match, right?
Top 16, yeah. So, Matt,
yeah,
if you
obviously, whoever this guy is, a massive luck sack. We don't need to continue too much on this guy. No one likes him.
no. Just looked away all the way to the top 8. Probably just playing this Eraserhead kind of list with a much worse character because they didn't understand how to use Eraserhead properly. Looked out on stream a lot and even got completely destroyed by Luke in the top 4 because they went to 11 turn 2 like an idiot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, part of that's probably just people assuming you're terrible and, playing badly as a result.
Yeah, I mean, this guy did get 32nd in the HLC last year, so anything's an improvement on that.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, I am really excited to be going back. I'm really happy to see what's going on there. And with the announcement of the Davig Chromes for top 16, I'm going to get top 16. I am going to be very depressed if I don't get top 16. And I was planning to just goof ball and just treat this as a holiday. But now I got to put effort in.
That is fair. Okay, I guess we move on to Oceania.
Yeah, we can move on to the OC. Matt's saying, top 8 scared me by me hearing he smashed his top 16 in 10 minutes. Oof. We need to know who he played in top 16 then. So let's start with the absolute beast that is Brandon Sassoli. I'm hoping I'm getting that right because this guy looks like he could bench press me with one arm. So, qualifying the OCE, part of the Grim Dark Gaming team that we had join us when we were going for our Oceania Nationals review. Mentored by the World Top 4 Zane. Won the Oceanic Nationals with Mirio on good. Has been playing since the game released in Australia, but hasn't been able to do much outside of playing locally or without a couple of Star Championships. And favourite character is Endeavour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brandon is their store owner, right? So Grimdark Gaming is the store, I think.
Yes, Brandon is a former MMA player who is now a store owner that is Zane's and other people's store.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Grimdark Gaming had 3 of the top 4, if I remember rightly. Or at least 2.
I think he's 2 of the top 4. I'm not too sure about Oolong and Bailey. But, yeah. I think before we go into the main profile, I think Brandon's main goal going into the HLC is to walk away with a Godzilla card. Like when the Godzilla card was announced that we were talking about in the stream, Brandon is a massive Godzilla fan. His MMA stuff was all themed around Godzilla with designs and cakes and all sorts. So, if the main goal for him is to probably walk away with a Godzilla card, which I can't blame him. The Godzilla cards look really cool. I know a couple of my friends are after them as well. But upon history in the game, we've gone over. When he got his invite to the HLC, he was still in disbelief. He never expected to get as far as he did. He took each game one at a time with so much going on and almost not going. Really excited to see what he can get, what he can achieve together. So yeah, Brandon was not originally going to go, but he got there and he absolutely smashed it. Advice to players looking to get the invite next year is to just get involved, get friends that are playing, get practicing, and just keep getting the reps in. As you said, a lot of people are going to be saying the exact same thing. Get the reps. Messages to the people in the HLC playing this year is that the Oceanic training montages have already started. I know Zane has been talking about Endeavour training, and we saw him talking about Gentle Criminal at the start.
Yeah. I imagine the Oceania guys are going to show up with a brew.
I'm expecting some weird and wacky stuff from this year. Brandon would like us to know he's a pretty easygoing guy. He loves banter and he's keen to throw down some cards at the HLC. And an IP that he would love to be seen made into make it into the game is Naruto or Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, again, obviously I've heard of Naruto because again the boy likes it. I have no idea about the other one.
So Hunter x Hunter is done by the same person that does Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's really good. It's very 90s in in the way that it's done. It's very young boy goes off on an adventure, assembles a team of friends, and learns and grows much like Pokemon, much like Yu-Gi-Oh, some along those lines. But it's as the story goes on, it gets a lot deeper, it gets a lot darker, and it gets a lot more intense. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's when Flynn gets old enough, it's one of the animes I'm definitely going to be showing him because it has such a big impact into how much you enjoy anime if you can get your head around Hunter x Hunter. But this isn't a Brett recommends anime podcast. But yeah, as soon as I saw this picture of Brandon, I was like, he's built like a Greek god. It's absolutely insane. I just want like him to give me a big hug. I want to see how that would feel. I can't wait to meet the guy. He sounds like an absolute laugh.
Yeah. I mean, all the OCE guys are really cool. Actually, like just the interaction you have with them online. Obviously, they joined our pod a few weeks ago. They're all really good guys.
So let's move on to Bailey Funavum Sigsworth. This was one of the hardest. Funyama
Sigsworth, I would say. Would be
this was one of the hardest people to track down to get the answers for. Zane helped me out. The TO of Oceanic Nationals actually emailed him for me to get this done. So that's why the answer's a bit shorter because I didn't actually have the full interaction. Mentored by Frank Crispo and Max Lawson. Do apologise to them. I don't know who they are. I imagine they're pretty decent Oceanic players, but I'm unfortunately not aware of them. Qualified using Toro Hakagori 2 on good. That would be the finals that we saw. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
History UVS's local star started off running events and around January, February of this year, so he's a relatively new player as well. His favourite characters in the game are Toro Hakagori and Mimic. History in the game is he's played a couple of the webcam RLEs. Upon earning his HLC invite, he felt incredible relief. Had an extremely stressful game with a bad matchup for his character, which is fair because the top 8 games were really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like, that they win this, I go to the HLC, I lose, and I'm out. They're always the stressful ones, right?
Yeah, it's what a lot of people are saying is the essentially the round before the HLC one. So the one that got you your HLC seat was the most stressful round. Once you got through the top 16, top 8, top 32, and you secured your HLC seat, you were a lot more relieved because all you were playing for now was additional prizing. You weren't playing to go to Worlds. Any tips or advice for the next round of HLC players would be pick a deck you think is fun and just continue to practice and modify your deck. So refine your deck into a very strong weapon. An IP he would love to see brought into the game would be Chainsaw Man, which I can see that. Any idea what Chainsaw is there, Richard?
No, never heard of it.
Would you be surprised if I said it was a man who fought with chainsaws?
No. I mean, I assume it's not a subtle title.
No, it's a very in-your-face Chainsaw Man. For the messages for the HLC participants here was good luck, have fun, and what he'd like us to know about him in additional information is a smiley face.
That is.
Let's move on to the man, the myth, the legend, one of the top 4 in the world, Zane Landrigan, also known as the Zeltarian. Did you want to have a go?
Honorary European.
Yeah, honorary European as of the HLC 2022. Part of the Grimdark gaming team. Qualified with his specifically designed to defeat Overhaul Tokiyami deck. Started playing in June of last year after his local Star Pro picked up the game. His favourite character in all of UVS is Zalot, which is one of the older retro characters. And his favourite MHA block character is Recovery Girl.
I think it's Zolt.
Zolt.
I mean, I guess, I think everyone's sort of vaguely aware that I think the OCE guys, a lot of them like their sort of drag things out control decks like Recovery Girl, Mineta 2, that sort of thing.
I mean, some of them do, but I think day one of the HLC, Zane was running Ojo 2 and just going for a beatdown.
Yeah.
But I think he did
day
switch.
One, he destroyed me at the HLC last year.
I mean, I had a great game against him. I just played 6 cards on turn 2 and went, if you can beat me, if you can kill me, you can kill me. But yeah, great. I love Zane. Really looking forward to meeting up with him again and him having some more Oceanic players out there. It's a shame that we're not going to be out there for as long as we were last time. But I imagine there's not as much to do in Florida as there was in Vegas. Zane's history in the game is the winner of Oceanic Nats last year, top 4 of the HLC, and top 4 of Oceanic Nats this year. Came very close to the second RLE top with Rapper, but missed out by 1 spot, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was 9th.
Upon earning his HLC invite, he felt extremely excited for another chance to be at the HLC, but devastated to all the other Oceanic players that missed out, which is perfectly valid. Tips for people looking to get into the HLC next year is to understand the meta and your character's role in the meta game and try to leverage that. So a big sort of change away from what Bailey was saying. But along the same, understand the meta, understand the character you're playing and how that character fits into the meta, and if your character can impact its gameplay against the characters in the meta.
Yeah, I mean, there's always different ways of attacking it, right? Of it's sort of a beat 'em or join 'em to an extent, you know.
Zane would like us to know he is an avid hater of sealed and draft, so much he put it down twice. So Zane does not like limited play, which it's not everyone's cup of tea.
No, that's fair. I mean, he's wrong, but that's fair.
I mean, he can't be wrong in what he hates. Right? He can't. He's not...
I guess limited play in UVS isn't the best, but certainly in other card games, limited is probably the best format. I'd say in Magic, booster draft is probably the best way to play Magic.
Yeah, I think draft is a great way to play UVS as well, but constructed play is bread and butter. And the IP that Zane would love to see brought into the game would be Naruto.
Yeah, again, that's going to be another popular one, right? I mean, I don't know if Naruto is owned as an IP by any other kind of card game.
It had a card game years ago, but I don't think it's currently being published as a card game at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Uyong Choi, who is an Oceanic player. Mentor is Adin, who is the hourly winner of Mirio from earlier this year. Uyong managed to take second in that one. He started playing 2 weeks before the New Zealand hourly, so the second hourly of the year for Oceania, back in July 2023. To try out the game, picked up an overhaul starter deck and took it all the way to the top 2. It's absolutely manic. Look at this pose in this picture. He is. Some of the people here chose really cool pictures.
I mean that almost looks like a stock photo, right? It's definitely a.
But when he sent to me, he was like, "That's really nice." It's a shame that Adin didn't get a HLC invite, but I'm hoping that they come up together because they were big helps in my Nats testing.
Yeah.
But upon earning his HLC invite, Yu Young felt bad for knocking out an opponent who deserved it more.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that, I think that unlike the penultimate round of EU Nats, it was a case of, I need to win my last 2 rounds, and I got paired against Greg, and we both needed to win the last 2 rounds, and obviously, I won the penultimate one and effectively knocked Greg out, and that was horrible, because someone I met at last year's HLC, and it was a really cool guy, and it's just, it always feels bad to knock people out.
It's never great. It's always fun to play against someone apart from when it can jeopardize your chances of topping.
Yeah.
The greatest advice for anyone looking to get into the HLC next year is to check 5s and draw attacks.
Yeah, I mean, if you can develop that as a skill, that's a solid one to have.
Yeah, if you can make that just happen every time, you're probably cheating. Message for the people taking part in the HLC this year is immediately an apology for playing slow because they are still learning the game. They are still relatively new. So let's all just be nice to the new players.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's untimed rounds, right? So
yeah, exactly. It's untimed round, but that does not mean you get to play ridiculously slow. But no one's going. We're not pressured like we were day one last year, where we had the 1 hour to essentially sort out rankings. Anything else that Young would like us to know is he's been playing TCGs he likes playing TCGs for the satisfying snapping sound the cards make when they hit the playmat.
Yeah, that is fair. I mean, there is almost an ASMR to it. Especially if anyone ever plays me, they probably are well aware of the amount of hand shuffling I do, and it's just habitual. Right, I can't not.
I've never really thought about it. But what, is it this kind of sound? Like this, you put the card down. You get
I guess so.
Welcome to the UKVersus ASMR segment of. That's pretty cool. And a IP that they would like brought into the game is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which has just had a new show on Netflix.
It's unusual, but that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's probably got quite a reasonable amount of popularity and draw to it, and it's a bit different.
It definitely has, and it's just had a new show on Netflix, and it's always a popular IP. It would definitely bring in a niche market for sure.
Yeah, again, the sort of thing I could see being a challenger deck, not a booster set, right?
Well, no, because you'd have to make it into a set because it's Scott Pilgrim versus the 7 Deadly X's.
I know I've seen the film. I understand the process of it, but there's probably not enough content there for maybe a booster set, but there's definitely enough content there for a couple of challenger decks.
David has said that this is an early nomination for the coolest person at the HLC.
That is fair. I mean, the picture alone does it, right?
Yeah, the picture alone is absolutely amazing. But that wraps up Oceania. So we've now got 14 people to go through here. Okay. I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down.
The first thing is we need to shame the people that didn't submit.
I'm not going to shame them because they might not be wanting to go. One person I just couldn't get into contact with. I messaged a few people if they knew them. They tried reaching out, so it might just be it wasn't a good time for them. The other person said they were going to do it. I tried chasing them up, but they never got back to me after that. So it may just be they didn't want to, or they might not be even going anymore. So I don't really want to name and shame people. This was a complete voluntary thing to me that I did bug people. I bugged people a lot. So if they don't want to take part in it, that's fine. I did. I think I harassed Phil Birch a lot. I got a lot of people to harass him as well. Let's start at the top here. So let's go with Justin, aka Zodiac Gamer, personally mentored by Clinton Thomas, qualified under Giro Air. History in the game is in 2019 when the first set was officially announced. Technically been playing for 4 years, but only took the game seriously right before MHA came out in 2001. His favourite character in the entire of the game is Van Helsing, but Cementos is his favourite character in the MHA block. I believe I believe this is the Justin that has been playing Mimic all year.
No, I think that's a different Justin.
Is it a different Justin? I
I'm
could
pretty sure
definitely be wrong then. But still really cool to see. So, history of the game was top 16. Oh, there we go. Travis is saying no. I'm an idiot. Different Justin. Top 16 Origins in 2022 with Cementos. Top 4 Gen Con this year with Air Giro. Top 8 at Nats with Air Giro. There we go. I should put Justin Martin is the Mimic guy. Should have just read his play history. You wouldn't think I put this together. Has been playing Air Giro all year. As Richard has repeatedly said, one of the strongest decks in the room, so it makes sense that he got repeated tops.
Yep.
Upon earning his HLC invite, quite literally fell out of his chair when his opponent scooped Game 3 of the top 32. Needless to say, he was ecstatic. As anyone should be.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I guess, I don't know, the opponent scooping, whether that was a case of they had lost and so they were just like, yeah, you've won, I concede kind of thing, or whether that was they can't go to HLC or didn't want to, whatever, so it's like, okay.
It might have just been they were in a position where they knew they weren't going to win.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if I was playing a game, I was low on health, and I drew like a hand of pure grey against someone, I'd be like, yeah, I can try, but I'm probably not in a position. But who knows? Some people don't like to give up till the end, which is a fairly way to go as well. Yeah. Advice for the people that are looking to get their invites next year is do not be afraid to net deck. What matters for the invite is how well you play in a tournament. Your deck doesn't need to be original. There's also a reason for that meta decks are the meta. Do not be afraid to play it. Which, is exactly. Solid advice.
I mean, I'm totally on this. Obviously, there are people who, like, almost want to be, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what the expression is, but like, almost want to be like anti-meta and like, sort of almost pseudo-hipsterish. And it's like, no, just play the good stuff, right? Like, it depends again what your desired outcome is, right? If you're playing at locals, sure, maybe don't turn up with cringy Giro or something like I did. But like, if your goal is to win, then just play the good stuff, right? And like you play your Giros, your Tokiyamis, your overhauls. Like they're good because they're good, and you play them, and like, because at that top levels, your goal isn't necessarily to have fun or to have a lovely time. Your goal is to win. At least
your main goal should always be to have fun.
Going into like, certainly nationals, my goal wasn't necessarily to have fun. My goal was to win. I'm not going to be a dick, but I'm going to play the best, the deck I think I've got the best chance of winning with, no matter what that is, and try to win. At a locals, sure. I mean, I can turn up with bloody Shinzo playing silliness, but yeah, I mean, you don't have to be original. Just win.
Yeah, and like you said, meta decks are there for a reason, but there are always people out there, like Zane's deck was specifically designed to combat Overhaul. You have the Eraserhead Voidless that were designed to combat Mirio and Overhaul. So you've got your meta and you've got your meta Slayers. And
sometimes, like, part of that is obviously Zane has sort of got a team, right? He's got, the Grimdark Gaming guys, like, they test the team. Not everyone has that, right? Not everyone has that kind of those connections to sit down and brew something and be confident that it's good to take. So again, part of it comes down to that networking side of it, of having those connections, having that testing team around you. And part of it is like, if you don't have that, then just like, okay, what's doing really well at the moment? Do any of these suit me and what I want to play? Go with it.
No, yep, makes sense. Messages to HLC participants this year is, if he loses, he wants to lose to something that is cool, which, that's how we all want to go. I'd rather have a good game that ends well than just get completely body slammed by one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but everyone's going to start with Jero. It's fine.
Justin would like us give us a big shout out to Clinton Thomas for teaching him both the game as well teaching him how his own deck worked.
Yeah, I'm sure Clinton played at the HLC last year, right? And I think he might work for UVS Games now, if I'm right.
Pass. I barely remember the people I played against. Never mind.
Because I think I played against Clinton day one when he was playing Duro, and I skillfully made him check sound waves on the 6-diff attack, whatever it is, I can't remember.
Pilswind? Yeah.
Multiple times. So yeah, I skillfully made him do that, so I managed to beat him day one. But I'm pretty sure that's Clinton. I'm pretty sure he works for UVS Games now.
And the IP that Justin would love to see brought in, as Carl Phillips affectionately calls it, is ASS Class, Assassination Classroom.
Again, no idea what it is.
Kids are put into a class where they're told that they can earn a butt ton of money if they assassinate the teacher. The teacher is a science experiment that can move at max speed and can only be killed by a very specific compound.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot dark. It sounds a lot darker than it is. It's a light-hearted comedy.
Okay.
Next up, we have Dakota Simmons, who went with this lovely Blackbeard profile picture. Mentors are Fernando. It is very good, Travis, yes. Fernando Silva, Alexa Valsinia, and Trenton. Alexa Valencia, and Trenton Caldill.
Yeah.
Qualified using Nomu Earth. He started the game when League of Villains came out, so we started early this year.
So yeah, pretty new.
Yeah, top cutted both regionals this year, as well as one national top cut. Favourite character, of course, is Nomu. This is a very brief one, so we can quickly go over it. He felt happy when he got his HLC invite.
Mm-hmm.
Advice for people looking to get into the HLC next year is to keep checking fives. Message to everyone else taking part in the HLC is congratulations, and he'll see us there. And anyone for other people, for other information to know about him, is he really loves playing the competitive card game and meeting new people. And an IP he really loves to see brought into the game is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I've heard of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Don't really know much about it, but I'm aware of its existence.
Yeah, JoJo gives unrealistic body expectations to any teenage boy. But it is so good. It's one of those things that, even when it's cheesy and absolutely awful, it's still so good. Yes, as Travis says, JoJo would slide into this game like a glove. It would be so good, especially once you get past the after you get past the first arc and you get into the stands. The stands in UVS would work so well. I think Jonathan Joestar would be a little bit more tough, but I could definitely see it all working. I would just love a Dio card. I would love all the Dio cards.
Yeah, again, I'm aware of its existence, which means it must be big enough, right? And when we're talking about these IPs like Naruto, like Demon Slayer, like JoJo's, like possibly even like Scott Pilgrim. I'd imagine like these are IPs that people at the company are doing their due diligence on, right, and have at least asked those questions, or at least I'd like to think so.
It will all come down to what's available, what they think is
Yeah.
going to bring people in, and how much everything costs. Because JoJo's is huge, but having an action called "It Was Me, Dio" all along would be so good. I don't care what it did. It would have to be some sort of like negate ability, but it would just be so good and just be like, you thought you were going to kill me this turn, but you just dropped the Dio. I watch far too many anime. Let's move on to possibly the coolest list of the NA top 16, which is Carson Panos, part of Team RCG or OCALA squad. Qualified with Shoto 1 on water. History of UVS is 3 top 8 provisional showdown wins, top 16 Gen Con, top 16 online regional, and second in NA Nats this year. Favorite character in the
definitely someone we should have drafted higher. Like, you know, obviously when we came to our nationals drafts, obviously we got to a point where we're just drafting people, and I think people may have forgotten about Carson a bit and should have drafted higher, because he's had very consistent, as you can see, consistent success with this deck. So I think Shoto 1 probably should have gone higher in the draft than he did.
Yeah. And favourite character in the game is Shoto 1 or Camry Woods 1. Again, these were done before the new set had all the characters. So these well may change, because I'm sure Camry Woods 2 will be up there as well. History with the game is that he saw some booster boxes for My Hero Academia. Him and his brother loved the anime, so got a couple of boxes, and they've been hooked ever since. It's their first competitive TCG, and he is absolutely rocking it. He has definitely made his name for himself as the Shoto guy.
Yeah, his 7,200 card Shoto deck.
Upon earning his HLC invite, he was very happy and relieved. Yeah, I imagine that was a universal feeling for people that got that invite. Advice for people looking to get into the HLC next year is to just keep playing, practicing, finding more friends and to test against, and sticking with what you love to play and what you feel the most comfortable with. Like, as you keep saying, Richard, it's about getting the reps and having that testing pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, there's a lot that goes into being successful, right? And like reps is part of it, networking's part of it, and just like deck selection is part of it as well. So, you know, it's all of these things. If you want to be good at a game, whether that's My Hero, whether that's Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever it is, there's reps. It's practice, right? Just practice makes you good at things, or better at things anyway.
Exactly. That's message for people that are playing this year is good luck to everyone competing. Can't wait to see everyone, and the most important, let's have the best week ever. Yeah, we know it's less than a week, but I'm definitely excited to see what everyone brings. I definitely want to make it a very fun few days. Carson would like us to know that he's currently working on it in the engineering field, but his goal is to become a pro TCG player and a card store owner. I can't think of many people that have been play card games that don't have that underlying goal of one day owning their own store and molding their own community.
Partly it's the dream, right? Because no one really wants to just sort of work in an office or stuff. It's like you want the way you earn a living to be the thing you love, right? And we're all nerds at the end of the day, so being able to run a nerd shop and run the events and do all that stuff is cool and what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
Sadly, I don't think My Hero has a.
No, you never specialize in just one game, but it's one of the things that I would always love to do is just open my own little nerdy store. I know people even in other fields, like my partner does a lot of cosplay. And one of the things they would love to do is just open up a photo studio where other cosplayers can come and like do proper full photo shoots. It's
Giving away my business ideas.
it's one of those. Oh yes, to the 8 people watching.
Yes.
It's one of those things.
And like
that like you said, you want to make the thing you love, and put it into a way that you can spread it to other people.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I don't think there's like obviously a way of going professional playing like UKVersus, right? There isn't really that sort of circuit. Like even like Magic used to be the big thing, right? You used to be able to sort of get to a level where you could make a living playing Magic, right? If you were good enough at it, like you could be a professional Magic player. Like you used to get like appearance fees and travel costs and qualification stuff. Even that's gone away mostly these days.
Yeah, as esports and stuff takes off, I mean, if you're good enough at an esports thing, you can make a living out of it. But you've got to think, esports is a 10-year career. Once you hit your 30s, you kind of go down it.
Have a lot of money in it, but like card games don't to a professional level.
The best thing you can do with card games is going to a store or is moving to commentary.
Yeah.
When you look at Magic and stuff like that, a lot of the people move into commentary.
Like the guys who play professional esports, they dedicate so much time to it, right?
They do.
And like the amount of work they put in, and the amount of reps they put in, it's insane.
If you've diverging a little bit from Carson here, sorry, I do apologise to Carson if they're watching this back or they're here now. If UVS had continued with the 125 grand first place, then I do think that a year from now, 2 years from now, teams would be evolving that were paying their players. If you can pay your player 30 grand a year to play for you, and they walk away with like say your pricing, but they'll cover your costs and pay you to play the game. If they can get that player to the HLC and walk away with 125 grand, they've made a profit.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen. Like, especially in card games, there's far too much variance. Like with esports, like there's not really variance. It's like virtually all skill, right? Whereas there's obviously plenty of skill in card games, but there's variance. Yeah. So it's never going to be. I think
this is a good thing, a good podcast topic for the future to talk about the place of teams and monetization and career paths for players within a game and how it could evolve. But right now, I think we should just focus more on the profiles.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I don't
Carson would like to see Naruto and Hunter brought in, as we've seen with a couple of people. But no, it's really good luck to Carson. It's great to see, again, off-meta characters doing really well, and especially someone who's been pushing for them for quite some time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he turns up with.
Definitely.
He was the only one sort of playing that Shoto 1 deck, so whether... it just whether he's still playing Shoto 1 or whether he maybe evolves into like.
There's a lot of Shoto.
Or something.
There is a lot of Shoto 1 enthusiasts and players. There's very few of them that would bring them to nationals.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a person who is contention for the best player in the world at this point, which is Jose Narono, aka Fudo21, part of the Unfun Stuff team. Qualified on a Razorhead 1 Def. History in the game, won the second retro event in 2020, won 4 regionals, 1 national, and top 16 both in-person national events in the NA. Favourite character is Wen, and favourite MHA character is Camry Woods. I do not know if Jose actually looks like Top Cat, but that is the image he sent me.
Yeah, I think he always has a Top Cat image for him, right? But yeah, Jose's. I think it's hard. It's hard to choose between Jose and Kevin as the best in the game, right? I think they're the two. If you're talking about who's currently the best sort of MHA player, it's one of those two guys.
Jose has got a
Kevin
lot
missing
of...
at Nationals puts Jose over the top. But it's sort of splitting hairs, I think, to an extent between those two
But I mean,
guys.
you've still got... Broberg is still world number 1.
For now.
It's hard to say, and it's a nice little rivalry, but Jose is definitely up there. Very good player. History in the game, they've been playing since the Yu Hakusho pre-release in 2019, so I've been playing for 4 years. They were relieved to earn their HLC invites. Tips to players looking to get into HLC next year is pick a character you enjoy and grind until you improve. Almost any deck can be competitive with the right amount of iteration. Yeah, that's what you've been saying. It's how I got there with Dabby. It's how Carlson gets there with Shoto. You pick a character, you find fun, that you have fun playing, and you just grind against all the meta characters until you understand how to play them.
Yeah, I mean, unless that character's Gunhead, in which case you're just off to a losing start. But like,
I thought you were going to say Monoma.
I just hate Monoma. I don't think it's necessarily bad. Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many characters in this game, and sure, there are the top tiers, but yeah, like it says, you can take one of those off tier characters, and as long as you're practiced with it, know your matchups and have iterated on it, it can be competitive. Like, there's a lot of space for that in this game.
Yeah. Message to the people playing the HLC this year is to bring shots to Florida. That's fair, even though it's February. I imagine it's still going to be very warm and humid. And an IP that Jose would love to be seen brought into the game is the Fate series.
Yeah, once again, not Scooby.
Fate is... So, Fate started off as a fight for the Holy Grail done by wizards who summon essentially familiars throughout time. So you got like Gilgamesh, you've got Alexander the Great, you've got Joan of Arc, you've got Arthur Pendragon, who all come with these super abilities and like magical abilities from being summoned to fight for the Holy Grail, and then it expands like a glass shattering into all this multiverse of different outcomes and different ways that stuff go down. There's even a spin-off anime where they take part in like drag races and cooking. It's so weird. And when I say drag races, I mean the cars. I don't mean RuPaul. Because as much as I'd love to see an anime that is just RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's the driving of the cars. The Fate universe is really weird, especially when you analyze its origins, which is a not safe for work game, which is really, really weird. But that is so old now. It's still going. I gave up like after Fate Zero, and it's just got absolutely nuts. But yeah, there's not much we can say about Jose. Jose is such... If I'm a hill in the MHA community, Jose is a mountain. There's not too many people that do not know who Jose is.
That is fair.
Just have your
people know who Fidu21 is rather than Jose.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to have your interactions with Jose, though, make sure they're in person, because your interactions with Fidu21 are going to be wildly different. The man has 2 wolves inside of him. Let's move on to Zach Paisley. Sorry, Zach Richards. It's too many. Is there another? Yeah, Zach Richards. AKA Jace the Ace 517. Part of the final round game shop. Hey, I know that shop. That's Jacob's shop, the Noma guy.
Yeah, I thought that was that.
Qualified on Manata 2 Evil. Started playing the game before the Libra of Souls release. Some of his friends started to play after we all got tired of of competitive Magic, which is fair. Favourite character is Maxi, and favourite MHA character is Manata 2.
Okay, so he just hates people.
Yeah. I do know that Jacob was so happy to have him in that. I've just noticed that Nathan DeWalt is in the chat asking who Jose is, and I'd be surprised if Nathan DeWalt does not know who Jose is.
He's obviously trolling.
He could have also just forgotten who Jose is. But yes, no, it's great to see more players coming in. History in the game is nothing on a large level. Lots of Southeast provisional wins. 1K top cut splits. But this is the first relevant accomplishment. So this is the first one to actually get his name on the map. Upon earning his HLC invite, he was overwhelmed, overjoyed. It was his whole goal for the year, and he's actually achieved it.
Yeah, fair dues. Well done.
Travis, you don't know who Nate DeWalt is, or you don't know who Jose is?
I don't know who either of them are, but anyway.
Tips for people looking to get into the HLC next year. You'll have more success with a deck you know inside and out than you will with the best deck. Get your deck ready for the adjustment until you're confident with your meta matchups. That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. It's about getting the reps in. It's about learning the deck. It's not about what the best deck is. It's what the best deck is for you.
Yes.
I can personally attest that Zach is right about this. My friends will never let me down if I come in 30 seconds, so you'd like to at least be cool with everyone. And yeah, people don't let you live it down if you get 30 seconds. I can personally attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
A bit more information about Zach is he's apparently physically incapable of playing 6-handed aggro. He can just not win with them, but 5-handed aggro is the one that he's got down pat.
Well, unfortunately, I think the next format's going to be all 6-hand aggro, so, good luck with that.
And IPs that he would like brought into the game are Power Rangers or the Warner Brothers Multiverse combat game.
Yeah, I don't see either of those coming in, but...
I could see Power Rangers. I could see a Super Sentai set.
Yeah, if they bring Power Rangers in, that might be my time to end it. I don't jam with Power Rangers.
You don't get on with Power Rangers?
That was definitely after my time.
What? No, you don't like Mighty Morphin or Turbo or Dino Force or Space Force or
that shit.
What if it was a challenger deck like Power Rangers versus TMNT, which is an actual thing that happened in Power Rangers? You can actually canonically draw a line from Power Rangers to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Batman, but TMNT have also been in Marvel stuff, so they're like this connector of the multiverse.
Yeah. Again, that might be the time I dip out, but we'll see.
We'll see. But no, great to have you, Zach. If you're a friend of Jacob, you're a friend of mine. So now we move on to the person that people were actually adamant I wasn't gonna get, and I'm so glad I did. We'll move on to Phil Birch, part of Team Unfun Stuff, qualified on Mimic Evil, has been playing the game since 2006, has 2 champ cards under his belt which are currently on screen, 2 champ asset cards which I physically couldn't fit on the screen, as well as a handful of PCT wins and top 4 nationals of this year. Favourite character is King from Tekken, and has multiple favourite characters from MH Block, including Tengai, Mimic, and Mina 1. Do love a good Mina 1.
Yeah, obviously, he loves that 10 guys deck. Phil's obviously very highly decorated from sort of the old times, and I think came very close to hitting the HLC last year. I think he narrowly missed out at Nationals, and I think he narrowly missed out on the points system as well. I think he lost in top 16 last year at US Nationals, if I'm right. And then, I think very narrowly lost out on the points thing as well. So he was very, very close last year.
Yeah, I imagine it was...
made it this year a Mimic.
Yeah, Team Unfun Stuff always have a consistent showing in events. I mean, can't count how many events they've taken down this year, and now they've got more people coming into the HLC as well, and I expect a big showing from them at the Last Chance qualifiers.
Yeah.
Upon earning his HLC invite, Phil felt relieved. Advice for people looking to get into HLC next year is to keep grinding events that don't matter and have fun.
Grinding events doesn't matter. Yeah, again, because of the way the competitive season was laid out. Obviously, grinding events sort of didn't matter this year. You just need to spike nationals.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, like, that should be all the thing. Like, if you're playing the game and sort of stressing and not having fun, then that's probably not healthy. And it's fine to be invested, and it's fine to want these things, and it's totally fine to be disappointed if you don't hit these things. But also, like, if it's causing you too much stress and it's like you're not having fun with it, then like
it is perfectly valid.
Like, it's
for you.
a game. Like,
yeah, it's perfectly valid for you to take a break, walk away from the game, get yourself together, and then come back. As long, at the end of the day, as you've just said, it's not a career, it's a game. People should be having fun, and the moment that this game isn't fun for you, take a break and then come back when you're feeling it. It is, your friends will still be here waiting, your fans will still be here waiting. It is about how you feel. It's about your mental state. There's no harm in going, I need to do this for me.
Yeah.
Message for the people playing at HLC this year is, cannot wait to meet all the Oceanic players. For all the Oceanic players to be mad at him in person rather than anonymously online. I can't see any of the Oceanic HLC players that are coming being mad at him. But well, I thought that was just too funny not to play.
To do with the event we don't talk about from last year.
The before times. That's pre-UVS, that's fine. That's back in Jasco times.
That's fair.
A former host of Brewing with the Boys with Brewing with Birch and Bromley, also known as Brewing with the Boys. There's a great podcast on Fun Stuff. I used to watch it back like the day after because they had a lovely meme contest. Which I put way too much work in making GIFs.
You did.
And I still never collected any of my prizes from Bromley for that. Which is, I still think it's quite funny, but it was great I was still very, very fresh to the game, so making the memes was a great way for me to force myself to watch the podcast and learn more about the game. And I'd learned a lot from listening to Brewing with the Boys and picking up like what's going on in the game. The IP that Phil would like brought into the game is Jujutsu Kaisen, which if JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fits this game like a glove, so does Jujutsu Kaisen.
Again, I've heard of Jujutsu Kaisen. No idea what it is, but I'm aware of its existence.
Jujutsu Kaisen literally translates to Sorcerer Battle.
Right.
But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. It's currently in its second season. It's got a movie out in a minute. It's really cool. It's one of the ones I would definitely recommend to people like just getting into anime.
I think the boy has started watching it.
And it's done by Mappa, who literally push animation to its edge. Mappa is such a bad company for how it treats its employees, but they produce phenomenal work. That's what I'll put on there. But yeah, great to see Phil there. Like I said, it's a shame he missed out on getting to the HLC last year, but it's great to see him here this year. Because a lot of the names you'd expect to be here aren't, but this is one of the names that I'm happy to see here.
Yeah, I think he worked really hard last year for it, and I think also he missed out very narrowly on the webcam nats as well, if I remember rightly as well. So,
it does happen. Then we got Corey Aguilard. I'm not good with names. Qualified with Eraserhead Void. History in the game is top 8 of the 2018 UVS Worlds. First place in the 2022 Origins Regional. Top 16 in the regional, the second regional of last year. Top 8 in online US Nats last year. Top 16 in US Nats this year. 2-time HLC competitor. Wanted to make that very clear.
Yeah, I don't think I met Corey last year, sadly.
Argue lad is what Trevor's saying.
Okay.
Argue lad. Okay. I was close the first time. Favourite character is Spike Spiegel, so must be very happy that Spike's coming back in the challenges. And favourite MHA character is Eraserhead, which is who he qualified with in Void. I honestly don't remember. I've got to remind myself there was 32 people there last year. I only remember the people I kind of interacted with.
Yeah. Again, I don't remember. I mean, I'm terrible with people remembering people. I don't think I ended up interacting much with Corey last year or this year, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a few drinks on the party bus, so the meal is kind of a wash. And we're only going to really remember the people we played against on day 1 and day 2. It's not like we had like a meet and greet where we all sat down and got to know each other.
Yeah.
Upon earning his HLC invite, Corey felt unbelievably lucky to be one of the few competitors returning to the HLC twice in a row. Yeah, that's a huge achievement for anyone that was able to do that. Being able to qualify twice back to back is an amazing achievement. Information for people that are looking to get to Worlds next year. Do not overthink it. From his own personal experience, the tournament I least prepare for is the one that has the greatest accomplishment of trusting yourself. We've seen that with a few people making decks the day before and be able to pull out wins.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes you definitely can overthink these things and get too caught up in the weeds, and sometimes you just need to run it,
Exactly. Message for the people taking part this year is looking forward to meeting and playing against everyone, and let's have some fun. They got into the game. This is such a small one, so give me a second. They've been playing competitive card games for a very long time. They started at the age of 12 in Magic the Gathering. They've played in Pro Tours as well as from the Versus system. They saw that Cowboy Bebop was coming to UVS card game in the near future, so they picked up the game. And shortly after that, they picked up the Street Fighter game. So it's been playing for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Over the past year, Corey's taken a hiatus from playing the game to focus on his family. This year's Nationals being the first time he'd played since the HLC earlier this year, and celebrated the birth of his first child, began a job and purchased a new house. So congratulations, Corey, for all that.
Yeah.
I assume that's the first major event he's played in, because if that's the first event he played in, that he must have gotten a last chance qualifier.
I mean, he may well have done. I don't know.
Very, very true. IPs that he would like to see brought into the game are Metal Gear Solid and Full Metal Alchemist, both of which would work very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of what Metal Gear Solid is. I've heard of Full Metal Alchemist, but I have no idea.
Everyone's mainly heard of Full Metal Alchemist to avoid the Nina Tucker memes. Travis saying he qualified via a Star Championship shortly before the event actually happened.
Okay.
So let's move on to William. William Paul Goodby, part of the Fun and Games team, qualified over Overhaul Earth. History of the game is they've topped a couple of MHA events and was top 8 at the Sunset Standard event last year's US Nationals. Favourite character is Natalie 2, and Kenda Rapper is their favourite MHA block. Absolutely love this profile picture. I'm really happy with how some of these people interpreted what the picture they wanted for their profile was. History of the game, I saw a few people playing Mitsuguri from Soul Calibur versus Ryu from Street Fighter back in 2006, and the rest is history. Took a break around King of Fighters, but came back with Yu Yu Hakusho. Great set to come back with. Upon qualifying for HLC, for absolutely incredibly excited. He almost cried because he was so happy, which is understandable. It's a hell of an achievement. Great to see Pete. It's hard for us because we've already been, so it's kind of the excitement's kind of like got that dulled edge. But I'm so glad to see that he still hits people so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big achievement, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Just
huge.
just qualifying guarantees you being one of the top players of the world for a year, which is a hell of an achievement itself. Tips for people looking to get into Worlds next year: play as much as possible, learn to block properly, get accustomed to the ins and outs of your deck, and learn sequencing a lines of play. Most of all, do not get discouraged. We all make mistakes sometimes. It's true. Even no one is infallible. Human error is a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just one of those. You will make mistakes. You will pick the wrong lines. It's just a case of just learning from it, right?
Exactly. The message for everyone else playing this year is good luck, and let's hope that the games are fun and intense. I couldn't have said that better myself. It's a perfect sum up of how I want my games to go. Some more information about Will is that he believes our community is amazing. He's so glad that he decided to return to this game and revive interest in the local area. He would not trade the last few years for the world. He's met so many awesome people. In terms of IPs he wants seen brought to the game, would be Guilty Gear, which I think is now a Vice Sports game, or the return of Jasko's own original IP, Red Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do bring back Red Horizon at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah, so congratulations, Will. Sounds like you're a hell of a guy with a great history in the game, and I really hope I can learn more about you in Florida. Let's move on to Travis Tangeman, part of the Pro Play Games team, qualified on Overhaul Earth. Personally mentored by TCGU and Jacob Johnson. They taught him how to not be a baddie. Top 16 at, or better, every major event he has attended since Origins in Ohio in Season 1 of Organized Play. Oh, sorry, Overhaul Life, yes. Favourite character is Dejanet, and favourite MHA block character is Recovery Girl. So many Recovery Girls.
Yeah, I mean, it's strong. I just don't understand the appeal. I mean, I'm not a Recovery Girl gamer. I just want to get people dead.
Yeah. Travis is another returning HLC player, played last year. Very, very strong player. Makes content as well. Do check it out. Does summaries of events. I believe does some deck lists as well. Always happy to promote other content players. I like Travis. We met last year. Seems like a decent guy. Very, very strong player. One of the players I'm really hoping I do not get paired up against at the HLC this year. Well, at least until I'm guaranteed top 16 at least.
That's fair, but I think everyone's going to be strong, right? So I don't think there's no easy path.
No.
Unless you get paired into Brett.
Exactly. Upon earning the HLC invite this year, being one of the 3 two-time HLC contestants, this is a lot. From NAE, I was going to say, there's a lot now. Was the most elating thing? Let me try again. So, elating. There we go. So, being one of the 3 two-time HLC contestants from HLC was the most elating feeling, and they are still at the point of asking the question in disbelief because I got to them immediately, a couple of days after Nats concluded. Which, it's really, really cool. Advice for people taking part next year is to just keep testing, working on your fundamentals, and what is good and what you enjoy. Yeah, fundamentals is key. It doesn't matter playing the same game, playing your deck, learning how all your cards interact, having strong fundamentals, just like as the best way to play it. Just like any sport, working on your core is the best.
Absolutely. There's a lot of core skills, right? Good defense, good risk management, knowing when to push, when to pull, that sort of thing. Knowing what to mulligan, when to mulligan, all these sort of fundamentals, all transferable between decks no matter what you're playing, right?
Ross Toss is saying that Travis is a phenomenal player and has helped them out a lot. That's great to hear, Ross. I'm glad to see that Travis had such an impact on some players.
Yeah,
message
again,
from...
we've got a phenomenal record, so as sort of David saying in chat, probably second best odds after Jose, possibly. I don't.
I wouldn't put odds in this is really, really hard to do because
yeah.
We'll discuss that when we come to the drafting for the HLC, because a lot of people will be picking based on players.
That's fair.
Message for the HLC participants here: better watch out. I'm going for the neck this year. That's a perfectly nothing wrong with a bit of smack talk. An IP of which they would love to see brought into the game is one you'll definitely not know, Richard, which is Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yes, I'm a massive Bungo Stray Dogs fan. I love it and absolutely definitely know what it is.
Okay, so just I'm going to ask you a very randomized question here. What animal does the main character of the first few the first 3 episodes before all the other characters get introduced, what animal can they turn into?
A giraffe. Unfortunately, I think.
If you got that right, that would be great.
The UK sarcasm didn't necessarily come across, Travis. I have no clue what Bungo Stray Dogs is.
A white tiger.
Okay.
Yeah. It's. I need to finish it. I started watching it years ago. It's really, really funny. It's got a massive following. I mean, if they brought it into the game, it would be absolutely huge. It has got combat aspects to it, but it's also like a found family sort of aspect to it as well. It's really, really cool. It's one of the things I need to go back and actually finish. It's a really nice anime. It has its deep moments, but it's also got its light-hearted ways to sort of offset the emotional turmoil it puts you through.
Fair dues.
I hope I gave the justification of what the anime is justice for you there, Travis, because I can tell you're a massive fan from what you're putting in chat.
Yeah, and for me, I think the sarcasm didn't necessarily come through, but I was very much being sarcastic. I do not have a Scooby.
I think that's going to have to be a content idea for the future. We pick animes, you watch the first 5 episodes, and then you just give a review for us.
Yes. That's totally fine.
So let's move over to now William Anderson. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Let's go.
Okay.
So William Anderson the third,
Crossfade, isn't it? Right?
What's that?
Is this Crossfade?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that William did not take part in nationals.
Okay.
It's a real shame. I believe he would have been playing Shigaraki 3. Hopefully they can make it to the HLC, but not, because I would absolutely love to meet them in person, because they've been a massive help to me throughout this year in getting games in. But William Anderson the third, part of Team Frost Giant Games, qualified under Overhaul Evil, which is absolutely huge. Got invited to try out the game early on by a friend around 2009. Kept up with it for about 2 years, but then stopped. Came back in with Yu Yu Hakusho, announced, and was hooked since then. Favorite character in the game is Takeda, which is a very strong standard and retro character. And then MHA block is Nezu. We love ourselves a dog bear principle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame Nezu's bad, but it is cool.
Nezu isn't bad. Nezu is niche. If Nezu is bad, Mike Hardiman would not have played him in a Nationals event last year.
He didn't play him in Nationals.
He played him in Webcam Nationals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's because he wasn't expecting to play it out. But...
history in the game for MHA came 9th at Webcam Nationals last year, 3rd in the Las Vegas Hourly this year. In Standard Retro, won Standard Sunset event in Nationals last year, and earned a character card, a few Top Cut PCTs, and 1 win and 1 second place in Retro Series, with a 4th place finish in the Retro Invitational finale.
Okay, so he's effectively owed a character card, so I believe he's going to get those sorted, because I think part of the HLC announcement is they are going to go back and make sure all those that are owed cards are going to get them sorted.
Ross Toss in chat is saying he's a super nice local that is always playing at another level, and David is saying that it was his second round opponent who was really cool. This is a huge paragraph on here. So, upon earning his HLC invite, incredibly hard to believe how it feels, to be honest. I started the tournament with a 1-2, then had to win 7 in a row to make top 16, which was extremely stressful. I kept feeling like I only had real success in older formats leading up to the Vegas Hourly. But after doing well there, it gave me a little confidence to back and pushed to try harder for Nationals. So having a success at Nationals meant a lot for my outlook of my own play and my internal sense of my ability to compete at a higher level. I owe a lot to my local group, and all the extra time they put into playtesting me, couldn't have done it without them. And I expect
we went full Swiss gambit, man.
I expect that the local players such as Rostos will be helping them prepare for the HLC as well. But yeah, the character. I'm really hoping that to see that these guys get their character cards, and it's everything they expect them to be. Tips for people looking to get into Worlds next year would be, I would say the biggest thing is to get a lot of reps in versus characters or symbols that you think are going to be highly represented in tournaments, as well as playing with a character that you think is strong but fits your playstyle well. Understanding the flow of the gameplay and what top decks are trying to do makes it a lot easier to poke holes in their defense and offense, and you inevitably have to sit across from them. So yeah, understanding what a character is trying to do and how they're going to do it is a great way to find how do I counterplay this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you need to know sort of not only sort of what the character is doing or what their gameplay is, but how that might change with what you're playing, right? And how that matchup works.
It's what's led to a rise of cards that stop you from readying cards during that season, or the rise of you can't escape me to stop people being able to draw or pick up cards to their hand. Message for people playing this year is they're really looking forward to meeting everyone and the spicy tech that comes with the release of Jetburn. They'll definitely have a few tricks cooking up themselves, so be prepared at the competition. No, that's absolutely fair. Some more information about Will. I'm a pretty shy guy with new people. I sometimes feel a bit closed off and cold, but I love playing this game, especially the deck building and theory crafting. So I hope future people don't hesitate to come up and talk to me about it in English or Japanese. Fluent in Japanese is really, really cool. So yeah, if you see William Anderson III, just go give him a big hug. He may seem closed off and cold, but all he really wants is to be loved.
I would recommend getting consent before physical contact.
Oh yeah, so consent is important, but just give him a big hug.
Well, maybe say hello first.
Konnichiwa! I am not fluent in Japanese. I know very limited. A IP that they would love to be seen brought to the game is Hunter x Hunter, which now makes us honorary great friends, because Hunter x Hunter is, as I've said before, is amazing.
I will take your word for it.
You probably should, because you're not going to get the gist of Hunter x Hunter in 5 episodes. You're not going to get the gist of Hunter x Hunter in 100 episodes. It just keeps going. Let's move on to NA winner George Zhang, part of the Boar's Hat Gaming, which is where Chris Smith plays, has got themselves a cool Boar's playmat. qualified on Overhaul Life. History of the game is the game sounded really cool. I bought a box, built an Eda free deck with the cards that they pulled, and showed up to locals. That was a bit over a year ago, so not been playing that long, and has come a long way. Their favourite character is Manata 2, which, is a very decent character.
Well, he's had one of the best mentors you can have in the UVS dad.
Yeah.
And I think, there's two moments from the coverage I remember watching from North America Nats that stood out, and I remember that sort of stood out to me. One was seeing an Amajiki player play I Am Here on turn 1 and get stuff a jolt into momentum turn 1. That was cool and very sweet. And the second was the finals, when it got to, obviously it's a long, grindy finals, right? The Shoto 1 control deck versus Life Overhaul. And, the first two games, they go the distance. And then just seeing the gears change in George, like he's obviously fucking knackered. He's obviously had enough of this shit and just goes, I'm slamming in game 3 and just kills cast on Todoroki. And I loved it. Just that kind of, you could see that change his mindset of, right, I ain't doing this anymore. It's time to go home. I'm just slamming. And then got there. And it was brilliant.
Yeah, okay. History in the game, they're very proud to have won their local championship because there was 2 billion participants. Might be an overstatement. Mm-hmm. And they won a mat that was the Nezu bar mat, laughing with the text ha ha ha. Did send me a picture of it. Looks really cool.
Oh yeah, that boar's hat mat was sweet.
How did you feel when you earned your HLC right? George felt great, extremely lucky and extremely relieved. In the first 4 rounds, they had already had 2 draws and 1 loss. So early on, they knew they were probably not going to make it. It felt really stressful playing each round after knowing that that losing would essentially knock them out of the event. The stress just definitely kept building until the top 32 game against Nathan DeWalt. He was physically shaking from the nerves.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line, especially, like I say, that last match where, winning you're in, losing you're out, and it's nerve-wracking.
If you've had that kind of stressful Swiss event, going into one of the best NA-MHA players in Nathan DeWalt, who is very well known in the community, is going to add on additional stress. So for George to pull it out the way that they did, and then take it from that off-foot position all the way to winning the entire event is huge.
Yeah.
Advice for people Advice to people that are looking to earn their invite next year is to wear an overhaul mask.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how that factors in, but I'm down for it. Message for the people that are playing this year is you better have a maximum overhaul your deck before I repeated 100% smash you.
Okay.
And possibly the coolest extra about me is that George has designed a board game called Chroma Mix, which I think is pretty cool. And apparently that's not the only game that they've actually designed that's out and about in the world.
Fair dues.
Yeah, so here's a unpaid for, unsponsored ad for try out Chroma Mix. It was created by the current NA champion.
Not one I've come across, but
the IP that they would love to have in the game is One Punch Man, which
I've heard of it, not aware of it. I'm assuming it's a man who gets into a fight and wins in one punch a lot of times. That would be my guess, but
it's a joke series, and it's essentially Saitama has broken his physical limits and basically is too strong. So nothing can hurt him, and he pretty much wins all fights with the first punch.
Okay. That doesn't sound particularly interesting.
Oh, no, it is. It really, really is. Because it's all these people thinking they're really OP, and then Saitama's just like, yeah, I'm pumped for this, and then poof, they're just gone. But it's also about the other characters you meet, like Genos and King. King is great. if Saitama has surpassed his physical limiters, King has surpassed his mental limiters. He is the luckiest guy on the planet, and that's not even his power. He is just he rolls a natural 20 on all intimidation checks. It's hilarious. I love it. And we've also got the Deep Sea King, which is voiced by Keith Silverman, who I cannot escape. I am hearing his voice in everything I watch. I love you, Keith, but leave me alone. Last 3 to go. So now we move on to Dylan Bowman, part of the legendary Wolf Gaming team, qualified on Midoriya for good. History with the game, they've been playing since 2017. Team World Champion in 2018, so I don't know if they have a card or if they're owed a card.
Okay.
Favorite character is Shoto Todoroki. Decent character. Upon earning their invites, they felt great because they finally broken their bubble curse of being on the outside of the bubble. Tips for people looking to get into the event next year is consistency. Message for the people playing in the event this year is good luck. He would like us to, as additional information to know about him, is he just loves the game. And Full Metal Alchemist is the IP he'd love brought into the game. Nice, short and sweet.
Yeah, fair dues.
I know Dylan has been quite active in the community and is a very nice guy in himself. I don't know much about him as a player, but as a person, I get a decent vibe. Let's move on to Daniel Tokiyami Guy Nelson. My only lost day one of the HLC last year. AKA Damdel, part of the Unfun Stuff team. As we said, they've got a fairly big representation in the Nats this year. Came in 3rd place at the HLC, top 16 in both nationals in 2022, and has had multiple regional tops. Favorite character is Tokiyami. Qualified with Tokiyami Chaos this year. Has been playing since set 1 pre-release of MHA. Has heard about the release online. Upon earning the HLC invite, had mixed feelings. The opponent in the top 32 was very vocal about wanting to attend badly. That's always a shame when your opponent is...
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on that just because honestly, if my opponent was like that, I'd want to win more. Like, don't try and guilt trip me into like trying to concede to you or something. Like,
yeah,
we get it. You want to go, but everyone does.
I get that, but it's also like it can be a mental health thing with people like myself who have ADHD. You just end up info dumping, so it's not like you're trying to emotionally manipulate someone. You just want them to know how you're feeling because you're struggling to process it. So telling them allows you to process it.
I'd say, like, at that point, your investment is probably on the side of unhealthy.
Yeah. You're looking at competitive rather than fun, which is something I've struggled with this year, and I'm really hoping I can get under control by the HLC. So, moving on. Advice to people looking to attend Worlds next year. If it's all wrapped up in one tournament, again, take your best deck out of the top 10 decks. Get 5 matches to practice against versus each character in the top 10 decks of the best playtest partner. Good luck, and anything can happen in one event. Yeah, you can walk in there with a plan, but the best laid plans are mice and men.
Yes, and like skill, like for when it comes to spiking one tournament, right? You need the skill and the practice and the reps and all that stuff and the right deck, but you do need a certain amount of luck, right? You do not win or do well in events without a certain amount of luck being on your side.
No, you need to have the right matchups, you need to have the right draws, you need to have the right checks.
But you do need some of that on your side. You do need a bit of the run good.
Exactly. a message for the people taking part in the HLC this year is if we all asked them as a group, could they not host it in Florida? I did try. I did try, Daniel, but they were adamant that it had to be in Florida. Additional information about Daniel is he is selling a top 4 heroic clash from last year. So if anyone's interested in last year's Nats promos, reach out to Daniel.
Well, the heroic clash is the HLC one,
It's
right?
the HLC one, yes.
The Nats one was the aggressive clash, and unfortunately, it's just like they picked the secret wares that are both mostly unplayable. I mean, aggressive clash just is flat unplayable. Heroic clash is playable if you want to meme.
I mean, I'm sure Jelly would be interested in them for the right price because he loves playing one checks.
He does, and maybe Pippa. I know Pippa is the biggest. Heroic
the IP that Daniel would love to see brought into the game is Jujutsu Kaisen, which we've already covered. Amazing show, and I would absolutely love to see it brought in. We'll save the best for last, which is...
I think we're done there, right? We don't need to go any further.
David, let's talk UVS Tombs, aka Chiefs 15. Great content creator. We had him on for the draft. Absolutely amazing. Amazing plays. Was King of Swiss, I believe, at NA Nats?
Yeah. David did top Swiss, I believe.
History in the game.
I think he narrowly missed out last year. Like a win or two short.
Top 64 in 2002 Nats. Top 16 in the Kissimmee hourly. Top 16 in season 2 webcam hourly. Again, favorite character Shoto Todoroki.
Yeah, David was the other person, Carson, that I could have seen turning up with the Shoto one.
Yeah,
I suspect when it came to his deck choice, it was either Mirio or Shoto. I think Mirio was probably the correct choice if you're confident in that, just because, you can just 10 minutes some rounds, right? Whereas you're going to time a lot of times with the Shoto one, I suspect.
Yeah. Shoto one is such a defensive deck. It's a very reactive play deck. It's one I should probably try to play a bit more. History in the game. Huge fan of the anime. Around August of last year, Patrick, his brother, bought a box of Crimson Rampage, a Bakugo Deku starter deck, asked if he wanted to split it with him. They both really enjoyed the game, and they spent the last few months playing Mount Lady. Playing Mount Lady. My friend Robbie would absolutely love that. He is a massive Mount Lady 1 fan as well.
Yeah, and obviously I believe Patrick did also top cut, right, and just unfortunately lost in top 32.
I mean, but he also pulled a Deku Chrome, so he's crying into his money at this point.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be taking part in Last Chance qualifiers, and if he's not playing Midoriya 5 with the Chrome, I'm going to be very disappointed. Upon qualifying for the HLC, David felt extreme relief, and he would like the players looking to get into the Worlds next year is to do not follow the crowd. Play character and the type of game you want to play. Do not be discouraged by poor results early in testing. That's normal. For me, it takes hundreds of hours of testing and iterations of decks before you can feel confident and start seeing results. No, that's, again, it's about getting the reps in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
sort of knowing that, you put a list together as a version 0, it probably isn't correct, right? And you sort of need to get those reps and that testing in to get to like your version 10 that you're happy with.
Yeah, losing a game isn't a sign that the deck is weak. It's just making sure that you feel comfortable and happy playing the game. Winning or losing, if you're not having fun or you're not feeling comfortable with the deck, there's no point. Find a deck you're comfortable with, that you have fun playing, that you enjoy, and then keep pushing it until you find its limits.
Yep.
Message for the people playing this year is that he can't wait to compete against the best of the best, and cannot wait for an unforgettable tournament. Well,
yeah. Well, it's the best of the best and Brett, isn't it? To be right.
Never going to live this down.
I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to get a dig. You understand?
Richard would like was that Richard? That's you. David would like us to know that family always comes first. They have an incredible wife, 2 amazing kids, a 6-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, and they are extremely grateful to them. Yeah.
And David, you are punching. Just saying.
Yeah, family always comes first, no matter what. If your family needs you, again, like we've been saying, this is not a career, this is a game. And even if it was a career, I'm sure anyone would understand if you had to drop an event or anything. I have dropped events. I dropped nationals last year because my kid was ill. It's fine.
And like the only reason I play this game is because of my son, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was into the anime, and I thought it'd be a fun thing we could do together. And now I've got this silly podcasting, and obsessed with the game, like.
And you are an incredible player yourself. You have made it to the HLC. You have proven yourself time and time again to be a very strong player in the game.
Well, not really. But anyway.
And the IP that David would love to see brought into the game is Demon Slayer, which, is an absolutely solid IP.
Yeah, again, I think another one that would be really popular. And then again, I would imagine it would be crazy if it's something they haven't done due diligence over to see how it fits available and how available it is as an IP.
So, that is 26 of the 28 player profiles. Unfortunately, you can now go away and work out who is missing purely from that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess thanks very much for everyone who did submit stuff. Obviously, take some time out, and hopefully we'll kind of.
I appreciate the time they took to fill it out. I appreciate them putting up my constant badgering, and I do apologise that I did spend like 2 weeks badgering you for the information, and then it's a month later since we did it. But a lot of stuff has happened in the game since that. This is the first opportunity we've kind of had to cover the player profiles.
Yeah.
Are there any? So, as a non-participating player, whose profile has caught you the most? Who have you who's sort of stuck out to you the most from what they've said about the game and what they've said throughout their profile?
I mean, honestly, it's been 2.5 hours. I can't remember the ones. I'm an old man. My memory is terrible. I can't tell you one particularly stood out as I think a lot of the choices of IPs were fairly similar, and the messages in terms of if you want to do well and stuff like that were fairly consistent across the board, right? And what you'd expect.
Yeah.
And just that general reaction of everyone just being that sense of relief and elation at getting there, and I think it is. I think everyone should celebrate it, right? Because it is a big achievement, and they should have everyone that has qualified should be very proud. Even you, Brett. Because it is a big deal. It's it's the biggest tournament in our game, and so qualifying for it is a big deal. And it is a big achievement, and so everyone should be proud.
It definitely is a huge shout out to the other 27 people that are taking part. I cannot wait to play up against you and see what you've been brewing. I'm sure the majority of you are also hoping for bans and stuff to hit sooner rather than later so we can start testing. And
yeah, I'd imagine a lot of people are going to turn up and Giro people. Again, I'm still on the opinion it's the best deck in the game right now.
Honestly, it's part of why I want to keep just playing Midnight Void, because my Midnight Void is just geared to completely destroy Giro, and I haven't played one yet.
Fair.
But then there's all this new spicy stuff, so I want to give it a go.
Yeah.
Huge good luck to everyone that's taking part in the webcam event on coming up this Saturday. I'm still on the fence about whether I'm going to take part because my partner is going off to Birmingham for an event. But
solo parenting.
And the last one is a huge shout out to everyone internationally and in NA that are going to be taking part in Last Chance qualifiers. I really wish I could just sit and watch those games come down, but it is media day for us, so I'm gonna check in where I can. But I am so excited to see what comes out of that because I expect the Last Chance qualifiers to be more intense than the HLC. That's my hot take.
Yeah, probably.
I expect
wouldn't
more
surprise me.
wild and wacky stuff to come out there than the HLC.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the metagame shakes out. Like, we've got the two UVS games webcam events. And also, like a quick shout out, we've also got so Chiefs in chat, so David Toombs and Tam Caldwell. They're doing a big webcam event
On the 16th?
In a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
I believe. So if you're interested in that, I believe there's a really cool playmat they've had designed. They've got obviously Jetburn. I don't know if there's any cash or anything on the line, but anyway.
I think is that the winner case one?
Yes, I believe so. So go check out either David's channel, so that's Chiefs, so that's Let's Talk UVS on YouTube, or Tam Caldwell, his Discord. So if you want to get involved in that, and then from our perspective, obviously everyone that's been in chat, thanks so much for joining us, and everyone watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Do all the usual algorithm things, so like, comment, subscribe. And we do now have a Discord, so feel free to come on over and join in the chat, and we can play some games and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're trying to get a Thursday webcam event going for Triple Threat, which I think will be really cool. We've got Discord in there to talk about Yu Hakusho Attack on Titan, what wishes you'd want to have if you win the wish event, and it's surprisingly busy in that Discord. I'm struggling to keep on top of it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to chat with you after this call, but that's fine. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It's obviously been a long one. We'll end it there. So yeah, do all the algorithm things, and we will catch you next time.
We will. Right, have a good time, guys, and we'll be back next week with the next episode. I'm trying to think what we'll probably be doing.